Hi, Flutes. Welcome to day two. We are going to be talking about several different things, including how to breathe, how to set up your posture. We're also going to be talking about using your tongue. Now, when you played a recorder last year or the year before, you had to actually use your tongue, or at least you were supposed to be. And so we have several videos here, I do, that are going to show you about how to use your tongue and I would like you to watch those, but I'm going to also talk about it in a way that I kind of like to teach it. So basically what you do is you take your head joint here, and remember yesterday we talked about how you put your hand over the bottom hole there, and then you say ooh, right? Ooh. Ooh makes the lip go out, and then you kind of tighten up the corners of your mouth so that the air will go straight out the middle, all right? And then you line it up so that the hole that you blow out of is exactly over the hole that you play on the flute. And before we kind of talked about going poo. But when you say poo, you might notice that your lip moves around a little bit. So the correct way then to actually use your tongue when you're playing the flute is to say two. So you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth right behind your top teeth, and you make that face that we talked about, and you go two, not two. So you have it up against your teeth, and then you get your air built up, and you try to blow out, but your tongue stops the air. And then when you pull the tongue back, the air shoots out fast. Okay, so you can kind of see a little bit of my tongue when I'm doing it. And if you want to do this in front of a mirror, that would be great, because you'll be able to see once if you are actually covering that hole and making that air sound. So then you put it up here to your mouth, get your mouth formation, cover the hole, the ledge of that a little bit with your bottom lip, and you go. See, I'm kind of sticking the tongue out a little bit more than normal so you can see it, but. So the warm-up exercise for today is to, again, make that air sound on your head joint, but to also try to see if you can do that with your tongue. Okay, and notice that my mouth doesn't move around a lot when I do that. Now, if we aren't using the two sound, we're using the poo sound. Okay, you notice that everything kind of moves around a lot, and that will make it really hard to play like faster notes. There's one other sound that you want to make sure that you're not doing, and that's the whoo sound. Just now, you might notice that when I make the whoo sound, or this the sound, I can probably go pretty fast. But notice I'm kind of moving a little bit up and down like this when I'm doing it. And the other thing is, I'm using up all of my air from down in my stomach. If I go, you're only going to be able to do that really shortly. If you use the two sound, you stop so much air from going out. And using up all your air is going to be a big deal when you play the flute, because you're going to start to notice that you might be dizzy. That's a very common feeling for playing the flute, is feeling dizzy. Okay, and that's because if you use too much air, like the hole in your mouth is too big, you use up a whole bunch of air at one time. Notice how big my mouth is when I'm doing that. And when we do the two sound, It's a very small hole. Okay, so if you are feeling dizzy, which almost all of you are going to feel at first because you're probably going to have too big of a hole when you're blowing in. You're feeling dizzy, make sure you look and see that you're making it a small hole like that. Okay, go ahead and experiment with different sounds like that. Remember that that's the first thing that we did yesterday was we tried to make all those different sounds. Okay, now take your flute and go ahead and put it together, twisting it nice and gently like that. And lining it up. Remember how to line it up? We line up the hole with the top keys, and then the post has to be at the end that holds the keys. That's going to go right down the middle. Okay, so home position, reviewing that you make a hook finger with your left hand and you put it right kind of where that first key is underneath it, and then you roll your finger around and push that first key. Then you skip that one and you go to those two, and then you put your pinky on the bottom and you put your 3 fingers there like that. Okay, and then the thumb goes on the single key in the back. Okay, that's your home position. All right, now, the first note that we're going to learn is the letter D. Okay, we're going to try to play a D. Okay, and you will see this on some of the websites that I also want you to watch, but this is how we play the D. Okay, on the bottom hand, we're going to keep 3 fingers down, and the pinky goes up. And instead of having this pinky down, you're going to have both pinkies up like that. Okay? And then this finger, this is where it's going to be tricky. This finger right here has to go up in the air. Now notice my hand is underneath the flute. It's holding it up. If I didn't curve that finger and hold the flute like that, and I was just doing this, then trying to hold your flute's going to be really tricky. Okay, so notice that I'm holding my flute like that. I'm putting it against that finger. And then if I have to use that key, then I just do this. But in this case, when we play a D, you're not going to use that finger. So you got the 2 fingers down there, and you got these. This pinky is going to go up. And then I got the finger down in the back. Okay, that's the letter D. Now, if you look on a music staff that every good boy deserves fudge, the D is on the 4th line up. Okay, that's D. All right, now we're going to say M and go poop, poo. And you're going to put this flute over the hole there. Kind of pucker up. Don't let any air in your cheeks here. Got your fingers down like this. And you're going to try to use that tongue and go. All right. Now, if you're getting an airy sound like this, the hole that I'm blowing out of my mouth is probably too open. So you want to make it smaller. And then I was blowing off to the side of the hole. And I'm going to make sure that I'm blowing right across it. Okay. Again, if you're getting dizzy, that's normal. Please know that's totally normal. Okay, getting dizzy is very common on playing the flute. And as you learn how to control your air so it doesn't all go out at once, you will get better and better at not feeling so dizzy. Okay. Also, make sure and want to check that you are keeping your elbows out here so that they're not sitting against your body, and also making sure you're not doing this. Right. We want to relax our shoulders. Put the flute up to our mouth and go. All right, so go ahead now, and this is the end of the video for the first part. Go ahead and try to practice getting that D to come out. All right, now this is one thing if you have trouble with that, that we can do a Google Meet with, and I can kind of work with you on ideas on how to get that to sound really strong. All right, so good luck.